Hello, greetings everybody. I want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. I apologize for the darkness today. We've been having a bit of a cloudy, rainstormy day, which making it difficult to get the kind of lighting I like. Often I have to use the lights that are in here, and I don't really like that. I like that actually less than I like the natural light. So anyways, it's not too bad. We'll try to do the best we can. So this is Friday night's ranking of the albums. So basically what this show is about is my friend Ben gives me 4 albums. He selects the 4 albums and I listen to all 4 and then I rank them according to how I like them. So he's given me 4 kind of poppy albums this time. So up until this point he's been giving me kind of different styles, like some radically different styles in with each other. This time he's kind of gone more of the mainstream vocal or mainstream kind of poppy stuff. One album's a little bit heavier than the others, but basically I find them all pretty poppy. And so what he does is he gives me the albums and then I rank them according to how I like them. So the 4 he's given me are Christopher Cross's self-titled debut album, Krokus' self-titled debut album, Billy Joel's Street Life Seranade, and Lawrence Gowan's Great Dirty World. I couldn't remember what it was called. So this after listening to all 4, I kind of grouped them. You got the bottom 2 and then the top 2. So the top 2, it was kind of splitting hairs, but I'll get to that when I get to those. The bottom 2, not so much. One of them was definitely at the bottom. The other one had a couple of songs on it I didn't mind, but barely beat it out. So we'll go with the bottom one first. Krokus, self-titled from 1976. I don't know what to say that wouldn't be considered negative about this album. To me, it's kind of completely forgettable. I don't actually remember much about it other than I just didn't find it grasped me at all. But I knew that about Krokus before this, but maybe, thought we'd try it again and see if maybe one of them might be a little bit different, but I actually liked the other one better. This one I didn't care for much at all. I found it, the one thing about Krokus I kind of liked a bit from their past stuff, that stuff that I've heard on the radio and stuff, was it had a little bit of a raw edge to it. I didn't find this had even that. So I'm not going to say too much about the Krokus album other than to say I just didn't care for it, so it's going to come in at number 4. Number 3 was a Christopher Cross album, self-titled album. There are some bits on this album that I like, a couple songs on it that are fairly well known that I like, I just think that they're good songs, but as a whole, I find this album to be a bit too poppy, almost marshmallowy like in some regards. I know some people like this guy quite a bit, and I can see that why they might like him. Just for whatever reason, I don't dislike him. I like a couple of his songs, like I said, but he's not somebody I would go and buy stuff from and listen to. So overall, I would say the album is better than the Krokus album. Not by much, but a little bit. Probably because I like there's 2 tracks on the album I did like. I think Christopher Cross has a good voice. However, I just found it a little bit too much on the marshmallowy side for myself. So it's going to come in at 3rd. Now the next 2 albums both passed. Those 2 albums, I would have had a hard time passing either of them, but the next 2 both passed. Number 2, number 1, they were splitting hairs here. Like there's one song on the number 2 album that I liked a lot, but I just think that the other album overall was of a higher quality and more interesting, and I could see myself growing to like that one a little more. So when it came down to choose between the 2, I thought, well, going forward, which one of these 2 albums am I going to appreciate more, and maybe I'll change my whole opinion about it, and then more likely that the one I chose for number 1 will be that. So number 2 is going to be Lawrence Gowan's Great Dirty World. I found I do own some Gowan stuff, and I do listen to it on occasion. One of his albums I really actually kind of love, and we all know it was The Strange Animals. The other, there's another one by him that I like a bit too. This one I'm not so crazy about. I do like Moonlight Desires, because I love John Anderson's voice, and the two of them together really put together an excellent song here. This is a really memorable song as well. The rest of the album I found, to me it felt like, and maybe just because I'm listening to it and just getting tired of it, but it just seemed to get sappier and sappier as it went along, and to the point where I just almost can't remember anything on the back half, but overall, not a great album, but the Moonlight Desires, that song, just really brings the album up quite a bit. And the next song out was pretty good as well. I did like that one too. And probably this song, Moonlight Desires, is probably the best song of any of the songs on all four of the albums. But I decided, because the overall sound of the album wasn't as good as the Billy Joel album, that I decided to put The Great Dirty World as number 2. So number 1, and will be going on, will be Billy Joel's Street Life Seranade. This was a bit better of an album and had some catchy stuff on it. There was some good piano and some nice catchy riffs on here as well. Lyrics were comical. I found some of the stuff that he was singing about comical. It's almost a bit of a saucy sound to his music here. And I like Billy Joel's voice as well. He's got a strong voice. I do have Billy Joel stuff here. This is an album that probably, given 2 or 3 more listenings, will go up quite a bit in its in my esteem of it. But for today, it's going to win anyways. Win fairly. I wouldn't say it won easily, but it did win. And mostly because the overall content on it was pretty smooth right across, pretty well. A good solid album, and so there you have it. So those are that's my rankings of the albums for this week. So Billy Joel Billy Joel's Street Life Seranade, number 1. Lawrence Gowan's Great Dirty World, number 2. Christopher Cross's debut album, or self-titled album if you prefer, number 3. And then Krokus's debut or self-titled album from 1976, number 4. So there you have it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. And any comments about the stuff I've said or the albums, you can put them in the comment section below. And just kind of remember that this is just my own personal feelings about the album. Doesn't necessarily mean that that's exactly the way these albums are. That's not what we're doing here. We're just talking about these albums, and part of the reason we're talking about the albums is to try and get people to maybe listen to some of this stuff, maybe this stuff you haven't heard before. Anyways, hope to see you next Friday for another episode of Ranking the Albums. It'll be episode number 6, and we will see you then. So take care, and sorry about the lighting, so have a good night. Bye.